Hell yeah.
Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC Guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Piper Academy. We've got a show today of chaos. That's what it is. It's show chaos. Bitcoin down, hitting some key target areas that we talked about yesterday on the show, but showing that we might have more downside to go. Mt. Gox money starting to come in, and that Mt. Gox money, guys, could be 99% sell-off of billions of dollars of Bitcoin. We're going to be taking a look at all of that and more today with special guest Blackie Chan, BC PortCorp in here, and Lunar Beaches, David, repping the waves. Guys, all that and more today right here, and the only place to be is Piper Academy. Let's get it. Classes in session. How about a solo cam? That would be great. That would be great. A solo cam button would have been fantastic on this new setup I got. Guys, welcome to Piper Academy. It is Friday. We were supposed to have Five Guys Fri-Yay, but we don't have that today. We have four guys. Thoughts today for OC. He's down there in Merida. That hurricane has headed their direction, but it has dropped down to a tropical storm by the time it hits them. But of course, when you have Starlink internet, I don't think that is, as David said earlier from Lunar Beaches, he said, I don't know that Starlink has been hurricane tested yet. So we will let you know. It was Blackie said it. Okay, Blackie yes. Chan said it. Yeah, I don't know if this has been hurricane tested, and evidently we are doing that today. So there you go, Piper Academy doing the test today with OC Guy, seeing how good it works. But guys, TradeFly, look at this beautiful lineup over here. We got this great lineup of people over here. We got David from Lunar Beaches Crypto and Blackie Chan from BC PortCorp. Both of you guys normally in the chat. Now you're on the show. So we'll start this direction. Go right up here. Dave, what's up, man? How you doing, bro?
What's going on, Piper? What's going on, TradeFly, Blackie Chan, everybody in the chat? How you doing? Are you okay? I hope. Look, it's gonna be okay. We're gonna walk through this, and we're gonna be fine. Okay, we're gonna help you out. Okay, so just stay with us, and we'll set your mind at ease. Okay, all right.
Well,
thank you for.
We'll stay with you until the broadcast ends.
Yeah. We'll
like see. There's apocalyptic, it's absolutely horrible, and aliens are attacking everything. We're going to stay with you till the very end of all of this. Just stay right here on ABC News. Like, no, I'm getting my guns and my foods, and I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm heading to the mountains, man. No, but yeah, it's there is a little bit of hopium, especially if you're a hodler and you're in this game for the long term. Today and these pullbacks, they're all for an opportunity, but I do think we have a little bit further to go. So Blackie Chan, what is up, bro? How are you doing? And welcome to the Academy panel, man.
Oh, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July, got to spend some time with their friends and family. I'm looking forward to seeing how this market can move today and see how much more downside we can have, because I've got some limit orders set a little below us on some alts because I am ready to stock up at max pain.
Yeah, absolutely. And TradeFly, you're in a new setup today, a different setup every day, a different city every day. It's like you ever see the movie Catch Me If You Can with Leonardo DiCaprio? And where are you at today, TradeFly? You're always in a different city. I love it. It's great. So how are you doing? How was your 4th of July? And where are you now?
All right. Yeah. So back in the day, my boys used to call me Danny San Diego. So they'd always be like, yo, where in the world is Danny San Diego? The trend has not stopped. I am now in Carlsbad, California. It's beautiful down here, down by the water. That's where we watched fireworks last night with the family. So it was super cool, man. And just watching the market bleed out, but no big deal for us, right? I told you guys I had that dry powder sitting on the side. I've been waiting. We're oh so close to that number we've been talking about. It is going to be a big I told you so moment here for Piper Academy, because
Do you realize when I made that number, how many people attacked me? Do you remember that? Like, I got attacked for that call. Like,
yeah, I've been saying it. Me and you have been in unison on this, right?
yes,
Like,
we have.
I was saying, I
Absolutely.
was looking at liquidity,
Yep.
and you were looking at, like, I think ranges and volume and maybe trend lines, but I can't remember. How did you get to yours? I remember, like, mine was straight liquidity. I was like, there's too much liquidity there. That's where it needs to go. But
For technical analysis, TradeFly, it's what I do.
I know that.
No.
But what drove you there? What drove you there?
Because
Mostly.
there was a fair value gap from 56K.
There
I
it
said, if
is.
we lose
Okay.
this, there's a fair value gap
Yeah,
straight
that
down to
makes sense.
52K. It's the next level of volume node. So, yeah, we're going to take a look at all that today.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out to the chat here. We got DB Cooper in here. We got Alex O. Crypto. He said, oh, snap, here comes
My
trouble.
twinsy.
You know, bro. Hey, you know, Alex O, if you wanted to come on today and wrap out the Five Guy, I just got to show you. I had this great setup for Five Guys with OC Guy over there. Even did some work for a new logo. Look at this. Are you made of the right stuff, Five Guys, with Bitcoin emblems? I'm just saying, I had it all set up to go, but OC Guy, sadly enough, is not here today. Do I have the Mexican spaghetti? Can I throw Mexican spaghetti up there at least? Let's do that. There we go. Mexican spaghetti, OC in the house. There we go. Yeah, I had it all set up, but it didn't happen. So, let me know in the chat there, Alex. So if you want to come on, and I will pop you in that spot there, bro. But
He said send invite.
send invite. All right, here we go. Let's do it. I'm gonna send it. TradeFly, do you want to go ahead while I'm sending this over to him and give the people a little rundown on what's going on the charts right now?
Sure, we can look at Bitcoin right now. I got that up on the 4-hour, and this is the area of right about 56K. We were sitting at yesterday, and we're like, hey, there might be an opportunity here for support. But one of the things that I was talking about is I didn't like the way that it was entering into that area, right? So we were coming down for that retest, but the trajectory of the way price action was coming down didn't make me feel comfortable, right? What I would have liked to see is a second retest, really a third retest if you count this one here, a third retest of that area with RSI kind of trending up. But at that point, Prime Oscillator was just down and right. It was looking pretty ugly. So I wasn't feeling really comfortable about it. But the other thing that I had pointed out was this trend line here, okay? This trend line goes way, way back, and we broke that trend line. And we actually came up for what looked like a true retest of that trend line, and it rejected off of that area hard. So, that gave me a lot of pause yesterday, and, here we are current time. Well, look at this now. We have now developed a channel Chart Prime has put out for us. So we're right inside the bottom part of that channel, but there's another area to look at. Let me see if I can go on the daily here. All right, this right here. This is a channel that I've talked about before, and it's been a long time since I've talked about it. But this channel right here, we're going back to like 2021 and, way back there. All right, actually, I think it goes back further than that, to be honest with you. But this channel has been something that we've respected for quite some time. You can see right here, the middle part of the channel here, all right, it was support, and you can see how it's kind of riding it up. It did a true retest and a breakdown. So that lets me know that, hey, this should be an important area. When we had this big push up back in February, you can see it acted as resistance. And then again, massive move, right? So big move down, big move up. There's a little bit of hopium for you that you could at least find some price action off of this area, which it looked like it already really has. But really the area that we've all been talking about and we've all been targeting is right here. That's the area that, I think is getting popular now with a lot of the content creators, that 52K range. And, as Piper said, fair value gap was there. There's liquidity there. So that's the area that we're probably all taking a look at, which kind of scares me now, to be honest with you, that all the content creators are starting to talk about one single area. So it makes me a little nervous, but like we said, we do have some open orders sitting here, waiting for the opportunity. And I'm not going to be too upset if it does continue down and right, because I've told you guys
Absolutely.
I am starting to build a hodl bag. So if you do have a hodl bag and that is your strategy, there's opportunities here to be had. So
For sure. Yeah. So we've got, what's that? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to transition back. Hopefully I ran my mouth enough to get Alex Owen. So
Oh yeah, we're good. We got Alex Owen here. Let me throw the
there
Five
it is,
Guy
man.
chart
There
up
it
there.
is. I did my job.
You did a great job. I appreciate you, man. Let's go over here, and then I'm going to bring up the Five Guy chart because we're all here. Where are we at? Five Guys. I'm not even seeing my Five Guy chart in here, man.
Oh geez.
Yeah, I know. I got a setup for it. Watch, I'll show you. It's super simple. I've got this little Five Guy setup here. Let me go over there. I had him up there. I know. Yeah, I had him up there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he wasn't there. I don't know what I did. I don't know what I did. Is it this one? Is it there? It is.
There
Yeah,
it is.
Hey.
There it is.
Hey, Five Guys.
And now I'm going to hot swap that to a button. There we go. Look, now it's on a button and we've got it. So there we go. Alex O, welcome to the show, man. We are doing this on the fly today. You're filling in for OC today. I couldn't get a guy from Mexico south of the border, so I got a guy from north of the border.
You went north.
I did. I went north. I coordinated and leveraged the NAFTA agreement, and so got someone from Canada instead of Mexico. So there we go. Let's go talk about the news, and then let's get into these charts. TradeFly gave us a little pre-breakdown, but Alex O, how was your day yesterday? It was just a Thursday for you, but how was it? Did you have a good day yesterday?
Absolutely incredible. You know, we're very grateful to all the Americans. You know, we're safe and protected by you guys. So, you know, we have to always
You're an American too.
agree to come on to the live shows with you guys, because we know if we don't, we probably will have to give you a lot of our lumber and gasoline for free. So
Exactly.
So we're very aware of our agreements. But you know what? We feel safe and protected up here in Canada. And it's very great to be on this show. So thanks for having me on.
No, I appreciate you dropping in, man. We had this whole Five Guys set. Look, I can bring it up now. Let's do it. There we go. Five Guys Fri-Yay. Are you made of the right stuff? So there you go. It's that's what you have to do to make it in this market. Is you got to be made of the right stuff. This is not for the faint of heart at all. So
I brought the gang and I brought the maple syrup. You know, that's what I do. Maple bacon's always better than regular bacon, and you know, we got to supply the stuff for your pancakes.
So is maple sausage.
Right. It's just.
Hey, can I ask you a question,
incredible.
Alex? That probably everyone here is wondering. Why Canadian bacon? Why? Just why?
Why? Because it's just incredible.
Is it really though? Is it really in comparison to bacon? Is Canadian?
Oh, you guys have like that super thick Texas bacon, you know, that good stuff. So I mean, we can't compete when you put a whole hog in one strip.
It's basically just fried pork belly at our level. So. All right,
so let's see that news, brother. What's going on in the charts, man? Let's
go talk about the news. Let's do that,
man.
Take a look, guys. We got a fear and greed of 29, fear and greed index. I do want to show you guys something here. Let's go here and look. Let's click in here, and we're going to go show you where we were at yesterday. Yesterday, we were at 44. We have dropped in 24 hours. We have dropped from 44 to 29. We are close to extreme fear already on this chart. So be watching for it. I think we're going to go lower on price, and I think that's going to go lower with it. You can see on the hourly, we are getting a little bounce this morning from those job numbers, but we're not getting the bounce that we should be getting. And on top of it all, guys, the Dixie has been dumping at the same time. So oh, God, who knows? That's why I put on the thumbnail. What the hell is going on here, right? On the daily, we are sitting in the red, already down 13%, Arbitrum down 11.6%. Knots down 10.7. We got Core down 14.4. We got Athena down 11.6. OP is down 17 or 10.7. I mean 17. My bad. You can see here Bitcoin currently coming in at $55,744. Ethereum below $3,000. Even got an article. Old Peter Schiff. You know he's got to put his 2 cents in, and he didn't go out to Bitcoin. He went out to ETH. So we're going to talk about that one too. He's calling for $1,500 Ethereum. That would still be another 50% drop from its drop that it's already made, which has been for the past month 22%. So well, yeah, guys, it could be an ugly thing there if that comes to play. But it's Peter Schiff, so I take everything he says with a grain of salt and a shot of tequila with some lime. There you go. So let's jump over, check out the liquidations, guys. In the past 24 hours, 204,896, which is called 205, liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $572 million. This was this morning when we started the show over $600 million. So it was up there. Largest single liquidation order was on Ethereum. Binance, it was 16.3 million bucks. Someone went in with a major long of $16 million. I don't know if that might be like the traded value. So if they did like a 10x, it might have been 1.6 million. Who knows? But $16.3 million worth of liquidations on Ethereum. And I'm guessing that they were longing that based on the ETF. So that's what we have there. And let's get into the economic data, because that's what you guys want to know about. What the hell happened with job numbers? Well, non-farm payrolls came out, 206,000. Was previously at 218,000, consensus at 190,000, forecast to be 160. Let's go jump in here and see what they have to say. It says U.S. economy added 206,000 jobs in June, slightly below the downwardly revised. Yep, they came in on that back table and slid those other numbers in there this morning to revise 218,000 in May and above the forecast of 190,000 jobs. So jobs added, looking pretty decent. But the biggest one, guys, was the government at 70,000 jobs, mostly local government, excluding education and in-state government. So that is where most of the jobs came from, the government. Your tax dollars are paying for the employees here, not a company. So namely ambulatory healthcare services and hospitals, social assistance, and construction. In contrast, job losses occurred in retail, 9,000. Manufacturing down 8,000, and professional and business services down 17,000. June figures continue to point to a strong, albeit cooling, labor market. The average monthly payroll growth for this year has been 222,000 compared to 251,000. Let's jump back there, take a look at what else we have here. Unemployment rate. We went up. I said that this is likely what I thought was going to happen. I said I think we go up, not static, but if we do, we could see some market movements. We've seen very little market movements today, guys. 4.1% is what it came in at. Consensus and forecast was that it would be neutral. Let's go jump in there and see what they're saying. They said the unemployment rate in the United States rose to 4.1% in June, the highest since November 2021, up from 4%. Guys, if you remember right, in November 2021, we were still in the COVID-19 job market crash and regain, right? So that we're back to those levels, which had forecasted this rate. The rate remained unchanged. The number of unemployed individuals increased by 162,000 to 6.8 million people unemployed, while employment levels increased by 116,000 to 160.2 million, we'll call it. That labor force participation rate went up 62.6%, and that is that data that they're talking about right here. That is the participation rate actually coming in. 62.6% of the U.S. Working age people are participating in the job market. Now, keep in mind, some of those people that are not participating are just they don't want to work. For example, I count as one of those people. I am not participating in the job market. Average hourly earnings came in meeting the expectation of consensus, but dropping from the previous month. So average hourly earnings year over year coming down. There's something that I want to talk about here because this is actually expected. Average hourly earning for all employees on U.S. private non-farm payrolls has increased 3.9% over a year in June 2024. It's the least since June 2021. And then the monthly, let's look at this one. This one here says the payrolls increased by 10 cents to 35 dollars in June 2024, following a 0.4% increase on the prior month. Now, I do think that we're going to start to see these numbers drop, and here's why. I think these payroll numbers are going to start pulling back as we get into that window of where the companies had to pump a lot of money into payroll to get people to come back to work. Guys, remember that time period back in the day where, people are like, I'll come back, but I want you to remember I was essential personnel and you're going to pay me for this work now. There was a period where they had to throw a lot of money at. I think a lot of these jobs that you're seeing rotate out now are them going, you know what? We hired this guy in for too much. We can't cut his pay. Let's just cut jobs and we'll bring them back slowly as the economy adjusts. I think that's what we're going to see there happening with these job numbers. So I just wanted to bring that up and point that out, that I think that is some important information. Love to hear everyone's thoughts since we got Five Guys Fri-Yay. Let's go ahead. We'll start with David. What you got for us, man? Don't be muted. You're muted. You're muted.
I'm confused by this data, man. It's like we're getting what we want to see, but the market's not reacting. But at the same time, it's like maybe there's a lot of uncertainty in the market, and typically when we go through periods of uncertainty, that's when you get your dumps and your chop sideways. It's usually when you have certainty, when you're sure what is going to happen next, or at least you have a good idea, high probability thought process and conviction that things are going to go higher, then that's when things start to go higher, or start to trend at least, So I don't know. It's a mixed bag. So it's kind of just like when it comes to the price, like you said earlier, Dixie. I noticed it last night. The Dixie was falling with Bitcoin and with crypto. Yep. And that confused me. I even tweeted about it. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. So yeah, it's just, I think once we get some more certainty about where we're going in the market, things will start to look a little better. But right now, I don't know. I think we might start seeing a lot more layoffs coming up soon. But yeah, that's kind of what we've been looking for, right?
And I think that we'll see that as a washout to those. We paid too much for this, and now, as things settle back down, demand starts to drop down, because that's what has to happen for inflation to get in line, right? Demand needs to settle down so that the supply can catch up. Well, guess what? If that's the case, then that means you've got a lot of retail, and the jobs you saw lost on that report, those are not needed as much. It is scary, though, that when the largest job numbers gainer is the ones paid by tax dollars, that's never a good sign to see. No. I do have a question for you. Go ahead, Trey.
I was going to say, I have a small comment, because when you were talking about the Dixie falling at the same time as the Bitcoin and the crypto market was falling. I will say that I am pretty certain that this is Mt. Gox. This is we are actually feeling the effects of a Mt. Gox sell-off. Now, how long is it going to last? How many people are going to sell off? That's up for debate. But that would very much explain why those things are moving in parallel, vice that usual inverse correlation. So, and that's now certified, right? People were able to post some pictures of Mt. Gox actual sell-off. So, I think you got to take that into consideration. I think that's why you're seeing that parallel movement now.
Hold on. I got to give a shout out to Mark Dutch. He said, I'm disappointed. I was hoping that Amy Lives Crypto was on, but instead I'm watching 5 bearded middle-aged men. It's Five Guys Fri-Yay, Mark Dutch. You missed yesterday. Yesterday was Amy Lives Crypto. She was here. She brightened up the space. She made all of us look a little bit better just being in our presence. That was yesterday. You missed it. Go watch it tomorrow after this show. But today, deal with your bearded middle-aged men as we talk about our portfolios, okay? Oh, good
Lock
Lord.
your ribs, Dutch. Lock your ribs.
Hey, that show yesterday ripped though, man. I saw probably about I don't know, 5-6 hours later, had a few hundred views. So I haven't even
Amy Lives Crypto brings the numbers to us. We appreciate Amy, thank you for making us relevant with your presence. I appreciate it.
We'll just have to put her on all the thumbnails. I'll just pull the okie
Just
doke
put her on all the
everyone.
thumbnails. She's on today. Blackie Chan, let's talk about these numbers. What do you think about job numbers? What are you seeing in your space? Like all of us have an experience from our POV, right? Our perspective of view, point of view. What are you seeing over in your space? What's going on? Do these job numbers match what you're seeing in your neck of the woods, if you will?
So I'm blue collar, and we can't get enough people, honestly. They're always hiring, and it's crazy to hear about all these jobs getting lost, because it's like all I'm seeing is all of my buddies and their companies and my company. We're all trying to hire people, and a lot of people just don't want to do the blue collar work, and they want the cushy jobs, and those cushy jobs are the ones that are going away. When it's like, oh, I sit in an air conditioned office all day and I get to like look at a computer for 8 hours a day and just push papers around. Well, those are also the jobs that bring less to the economy, so you'd expect those to go away first.
Yep.
And like government doing what normal government does, well, it's like, okay, well, we need to make it look like we're treading water, so let's hire 70,000 people real quick.
Absolutely. And we're seeing the same problem in the Army, in the military, not just the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, all having it. They can't get enough people that want to come do the job. They're like, yeah, I'm not going to war. Well, guys, we're most likely not going to war. We can't afford to go fight boots on ground in another war. We just did that for 20 plus years. I served the entire entity of the war on terror as my career in the Army. That's probably not happening, but I will tell you, I get to sit at home with $50 a month for family health care and collect a check after 20 years in the military. So no job out there offers better employment, post-employment benefits than the United States military. It's just hands down. So thank you to the U.S. taxpayer for allowing me to sit at home and do this content for you.
That's dude. People
Thank you
always
for
are
your
like,
service.
Hey, thank you for your service. That's the funny one that everyone always says, and I'm like, I always give it back to them. I'm like, hey, dude, thanks for paying your taxes, man. And they're
Okay,
just
you're
looking
welcome.
at me
You're
like,
welcome.
what just happened? And I'm like, I mean, it's just funny. But hey, did you see the sneaky piece of legislation that they tried to push through? They are now essentially.
You got your chart up? You got it up? Or are you just talking about it?
No, it was a piece of legislation.
Oh, I didn't know if you had it pulled up on your screen. Okay, go for it.
No.
Tell me all about it, TradeFly. And while we're at it, Alex, can you share your screen?
Basically, they're making it so you don't have to register now to be essentially part of a draft in the military. It would just be
auto
automatic.
Done. Yep, automatically.
Yeah.
Yep, registered. Yep. Because the new 18-year-olds. The new 18-year-olds are not going and do it. They're like avoiding getting their driver's license, because that's what happens in most states. You go get your driver's license and they register you then. They're avoiding to go get their new driver's license. So if you see a bunch of 20-year-old, 25, 26-year-olds walking around a few years from now, and you look at their ID card and it's still their, restricted driver's license from when they were 16, 17 years old, you guys will know why that driver's license is in their possession right there. There you go. Let me see your.
Well, there's
you that guy. You that guy. Here you go.
Yeah. There's a few things lining up, right? Remember that email that you got?
Yep.
Saying, hey, we're looking at bringing people back. All right. Well, that's going around. All right. So I can give you guys a little bit of look behind the curtain. That's going around. So there was a girl that was working for us as a contractor, and the Marine Corps just brought her back with a bonus too. So what does that tell me? Just knowing current events and what's going on, things are ramping up, bro. If you're introducing legislation and you're sending out emails talking about bringing people back that are retired or out of the military, it gives you a little bit of pause.
At the end of the day, we build. I'm going to counter that with the perspective, because I worked in DC. I worked right next to the Pentagon. I worked 2 stories underground in a location that I cannot disclose. But I will tell you this: we don't prepare our military for the current world environment. We prepare our military for the potential worst case scenario environment. And right now, when we can't meet recruiting numbers at the basic level, we have to have contingencies in place. So it's contingency based, not operations based. I'll just put that out. So
Yeah, well, yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
we're prepping.
I'm thinking
We're
forward.
Yeah, we're preparing for the worst case scenario. Most, or what we call the COAs, courses of action. It's the most dangerous course of action, not the most likely course of action. So there you go, a little military lingo there for you. But Alex, though, I know I know that if Canada gets called up to stand next to their ally America, that you'll be right there, won't you?
With his golf club.
With his golf clubs. You're muted, Alex.
So muted.
So muted.
Riding in on
He's
my
so
moose.
muted.
That's what I said. Riding in on my moose. It's crazy though. You see U.S. non-farm payrolls, and then they revise it. It's like it's all, I don't know. It's a hoax in my opinion.
Yeah, let's go jump into the charts and let's get some TA done today, because I can sit here and BS. This is like hanging out. I should have had a Bloody Mary this morning. We should have just all been drinking Bloody Marys today. I'm just saying. Let's go jump into the chart, guys, and take a look here. First, we're going to talk about this piece of news here. It's not a news, it's a chart. There we go. And let's stretch this over to full length. There we go. Big time. Guys, we're getting this Bitcoin move, and this is what we were talking about this morning. First mover America, Bitcoin slumps below 54K as Gox flags repayments. Moving down here, take a look at this. Nothing in here that you guys haven't already seen, but I do want to talk about that. They think that there is more sell-offs coming, and here's how much sell-off. Well, look at this article. 99% of Mt. Gox's 8.2 billion Bitcoin could be sold, according to analysts. It's 8,500% how much it has gone up since the collapse of the exchange. So these people are up a crap ton, a metric crap ton. There you go. Most of the Bitcoin being repaid by defunct exchange Mt. Gox will be market sold, threatening to cause more downside pressure. The analyst said that the on-chain movements already point to the fact that Mt. Gox's creditors have started selling. According to a July 4th post on X, no Bitcoiner will say this out loud, but the majority of the 8.2 billion in Bitcoin that is set to be distributed back to X clients is going to be sold off. So that being said, let's jump over into the chart and let's take a look at what we're seeing here. Guys, the Dixie, if you look here, the Dixie getting a pullback, getting a little bounce this morning on these job numbers, which is so weird, right? But we had all this pull down here, and I'm looking at 4-hour charts. So since Tuesday morning, we've had sell-off here, right? I want to point something out here that's, that we were talking about. The Dixie pulling back, Bitcoin pulling back. What's not been pulling back, though? It's this gold. Gold is where the money is flowing into right now, guys, and it's getting quite the pump there. Sitting currently at like 2380. It's going to hit 2400 here soon. We got another level here at 2387. That is going to be the high back here, and then previous to that, guys, we have a peak all the way up here at about 2450. So I'm going to be watching to see if gold continues to go up, while digital gold continues to go down. And let's go take a look at what I'm seeing here. This is the levels we talked about yesterday, guys. This is this channel that I was talking about that I said, look, we're breaking the 200-day exponential moving average here. Down here at this level, and I started the T box here being relevant because let me get a little extension on that. Can I get an extension on that? Thanks. Right to there. There we go. That is because we've got this downward channel here that we've got the falling price action supported, rejected at the top, supported at the bottom, and that is literally where we just got our bounce at. It is also the 300-day exponential moving average. And so this 300 EMA on top of this was a good area, but I do think that we are likely heading down to the 50%. This is 48,526. Alex asked me about this yesterday on his live stream, and if you guys aren't following Alex, you guys are missing out, because when I watch his show, I always get a ton of info, and then he's also very engaging with his chat. So, he asked me, what was my level? I told him my level. There it is, 48,526. Let's take a look at the oscillators and see how they're looking here. It's looking way oversold on the 4-hour, but let's get into some higher time frames. Let's do like a 3-day and just see what we're seeing here on this downside. Guys, we still have more room to go, and you can see there that we're not even into the bullish zone yet. We're not really as low as what we can go. I mean, look here, we can get as low as like 9.26. So on the higher time frames, we still got room. If you guys are looking at this and saying it's got to be done, we've bounced enough to the downside. No, just come look at these higher time frames, and you'll see these oscillators still have some leg room there to drop down. So, one thing I will point out over here, guys, we are trying to close. And I said yesterday, if we wick down below this box, this range box, that's one thing. Into this platinum pocket, no big deal. But we have this 887 at 55,971, and we are trying right now to pull back up and close that candle in there. Of course, it's Friday. We've got till Sunday night before this weekly candle closes, and that's what we're going to have to be watching for there on that. And then total two, just to give you guys a recap, we are not heading into alt season anytime soon. Alts are getting absolutely slaughtered right now. We are dropping and losing key support on the total two. This is the total market cap minus Bitcoin. One last thing to see here is that we are still in capitulation, but there's your hopium for the day. I want to show you guys that on the weekly chart here, capitulation is starting to come back up. Once this prints green, which could take another month, guys, August, I think that's what we're going to be dealing with until sometime mid-August is possible potential downside movements until we can get this back up. But as of right now, holding key levels of support here that we called yesterday on the show. Let's jump over to TradeFly. I think you got that liquidation heat map up, do you, bro?
I do.
Let's go.
Let me see here. So looking at it on the 3-day, looks like there's a little liquidity to the top side of price action.
You got to bring that up a little bit. Your camera's sitting right over that top there. Yes. Here, I got you. I got you. Here.
Oh, we'll just do this. I got you. I see it. Oh, you know what? It's going to be hard for me to do that, actually.
I got you. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Well, I'm going to unlock you, and I'm going to move you to the other side for a second.
Put me on the left side. There it is. All right, cool. So we got again, some liquidity sitting on the top side of the price action right now. People are going short. That makes sense. Now, in the essence of how can the market maker get a quick little grab of liquidity? Well, price action can move up. That's about 56,250. So don't be surprised to see it make a move up before ultimately it hits this area. Which by the way is right here. That 56,250 would be the bottom of the golden pocket on my fibs, just so you're tracking. And so there you go. So that's how you look at this liquidity heat map, and then you align it to the chart, right? And so that really, dude, I'm telling you, man, this liquidity heat map can be dangerous when you actually use it with TA. So where's kind of the top side? Like if you're looking at this heat map, right, and you're like, hey, where can I find some support or resistance? Well, right here, you can see before ultimately it broke down, there was support sitting at about 56.5, okay? And I would be willing to say that's in the golden pocket somewhere, if not at the top side. So, that's an area I would keep an eye on today, just in the short term. But if we're talking long-term stuff, we did kind of cover it yesterday. So I'll be very, very quick with the rehash here, but there could be some new people. This is an area we are very, very much keen on, and we've been watching for quite some time, and that's at about 50K. All right, so that's where most of the liquidity is actually sitting when you're talking about like the large sum of liquidity. Okay, so it's down there. So keep an eye on that. We are kind of anticipating, looking now the trend that we may come down here and clear out this liquidity, and then that will free us up for ultimately some movement back up and right. So that's what I'm seeing on the liquidity heat map.
And I will point out that hitting those levels would be buy city for some altcoins, because they are going to be devastated by that point, and you're going to pick up. It's going to be, but they're going to be super devastated. It's going to be like Christmas in August, in my opinion. Maybe Christmas in September. Let's go ahead.
Cardano is at bear market lows right now.
Yeah, and we're going to get around to those. I want to get around to those, but let's start over with, I want to see what Lunar Beaches is seeing on his chart, and then we'll come around to Blackie Chan and then Alex O to wrap it out. We'll save the best for last. Hell Canada. There you go. Let's get over to the Lunar Beaches and see what he's seeing there on his chart.
Well, you said best for last. Alex first. What are you talking about? Come on, bro. No. All right, guys. So I'm sitting here on the 3-month chart. I see. I was kind of concerned just starting off this month because we did have a fair value gap here on the 3-month chart. So not really surprised to see us come down, sweep the previous quarter low here. If I go ahead and throw on my key levels on my Spaceman BTC, we can see that what we've done is we've come down to the previous quarter low. If I can get this thing to, there we go. Previous quarter low. Also the current year midpoint. So for this whole year, this is the midpoint of the year, the 50% retracement essentially. Come down, we've swept that. We also have the yearly open down here at about 42,260. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because I'm going to go to the weekly chart real quick. I'm going to pull up my object tree and I'm going to turn this on. We have that yearly low down here that just so happens to sit right here at this high volume node where we have this POC of this fixed range volume profile when I pull from this low to this high, from 25K to the 74K high. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get down here. It's just that there's a lot of confluence with this zone in particular. So I'm hoping that we get a little bit of front running going on in here so that we can bounce from, a little higher, maybe at this 50% retracement of this entire move right here at 49,391. So that's right around that area that Piper was talking about. His was 48 something.
48.5 range, yeah.
Yeah, 48.5. So that's right about where he's looking too. So, but I'm just saying don't say it's impossible, because the way that I'm looking at this now, because I've become a little massive wick here. This is a 3-month chart. So these are all quarters, okay? We had 3 straight quarters before we had of downside, before we had that big plummet down. This was a retrace after the bear market, okay? Now, this could have been a glorified retrace that really pushed us higher off the backs of the hype of the ETFs. So seeing a 50% or even a pullback down to the golden pocket down here wouldn't be out of question, and technically would still be bullish, because my bottom end down here is 38.5. We can't break this low. We break this low, bull market's done. But we can actually come all the way down here to this point of control where the golden pocket is and still be fine. It also be tracking along the trend. So not saying we will for sure get down here, but it's just something to keep on your radar. And I'm just watching for lower time frame impulses to the upside for me to be okay. We're good. I want to see some quick moves to the upside, and then that'll kind of help solidify to me, okay, we are reversing. I thought we were already getting that in here because I thought we had this 5-wave impulse, but then, it came up to previous support and flipped it to resistance. Once that happened, once we broke this down and broke this low, I was like, all right, this isn't looking good, because we were putting in this wedge right here, and then it just broke down from there. So, and I could put up all kinds of stuff, but I just wanted to say, be cautious, or be careful, and just preserve your capital. Wait for things to show you that we are actually getting a bounce. I was waiting for a capitulation type of event, and we might have finally got it, but I'm still holding on and waiting until I decide to throw some money into this market. So
there you go. All right, perfect. Black and Chan, BC PortCorp. By the way, guys, both of these gentlemen to my left and right, their links are down below. You guys need to go give them a follow. Blackie Chan got his mission statement video, and we'll be creating some content down the road. But definitely go get locked in and hit that notification bell so that you guys can get all set up when he starts those. And then every morning before we ever go live, David has given us the daily update. That's it's one of the first things I watch in the morning. I go in there and get my daily dose from him. Then I go over and I watch CNBC News and see how the markets are doing, which, by the way, are not doing well today either. So they are pulling back. But Blackie Chan, let's go ahead and jump over to your chart, see what you're talking about and what you're watching today, and what you think about this current dump that we have.
So honestly, I feel like a lot of this has been the Mt. Gox news. I know that article says that the 99% of people are going to sell off. But I don't know how much they're truly going to sell off because, yeah, you've been holding it for a while and you're up big. But if you look and just see on higher time frame charts how this is just a little pause in a range, I feel like they're going to sell off a little bit at the bottom of the range, maybe be like, okay, well, I got my taxes secure on that. And then they'll just wait for the top side of the range. I've got some of the same prices that I'm looking at. We've been on this support line very well. Kind of lines up on that same fib line you were talking about, around 48. That's where I've had my eye, 48 to 47 for absolute max pain, scare everyone. And then we kind of start making our move out of it end of the month into August. Or it just stays boring for a long time like it did in the first bull run. And people are like, what's going on? I thought I was going to make money, but it's a perfect time to just continue to stock up and stock up and stock up. Because this is just a small little pause here on a giant move.
Yep.
We've come up so far, and we've got plenty of room to come down and consolidate before just moving sideways or exploding out. So I have not been worried. I've been waiting for around low 50s to high 40s to start buying my alts. I've got my eye on loading my injected bag up. So I'm hoping for that 48 price range where everyone's freaking out.
Yeah, that's and that you bring up a great point. We really have not pulled back a terrible amount when you look at those higher time frames. That's why I push so hard on our community to zoom out a little bit, guys. First, yes, we can pull back a little bit, but even with the pullback, we are still in a massive growth cycle, and we've seen this before. Is it a harsh pullback? Does it hurt to watch your realized gains disappear, or unrealized gains and profits disappear? Absolutely, but at the end of the day, you got to zoom out a little bit. And if you see these moves like we've been calling, and you have the cojones or the ovaries to do so, feel free to trade these because we have been calling for this level for quite a while. And I know someone who's been trading this stuff because he's got degen vibes all over him. Let's go over to his chart and check it out. What do you got for us, Alex O?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm normally trading right now as we speak, but you guys know I'm short-term time frame. So, I mean, I've longed this thing, I've shorted this thing, and I continue to just, everybody's like, how do you still have capital to deploy to this thing? And I'm like, well, because I trade it. It doesn't matter if it's up or down. So, yeah, all things point to 51,500. Okay. This is my kind of argument here. We look at the chart, we can see very simply. Okay. I'm a fibs guy, right? So, I know Piper will appreciate this. We got our beautiful little retracement here. Okay. That's one fib pull. You pull a fib from swing low to swing higher. You got your 272 right here, right? If you want to go trend-based fib analysis, right? So if you want to do some of that, you can go from swing high to swing low to swing high. And you can see you got your other 27 right here. And then if you want to go even further, you can go for extension levels coming up out of this thing. So if you want to go from very lows to very highs to extension levels, you can see that we have our 618 right here. If you want to bring this sucker up to this level up here, and you want to push the bottom in down here, you can see that you have, your 382 bounce level here. So, I mean, all things point to 51,000. Okay, now we could be in this megaphone pattern, and that's quite possible. You'll see everybody in Twitter, saying, I bought the dip, I called this thing here. It doesn't really matter what you call. Where's your receipts and what are you doing with your call, right? We're here to make money and profit eventually, but nonetheless, if we want to jump into short-term time frames, like, it's pretty obvious. We have an inverse head and shoulder here on Market Cipher. We look to be pushing down. We have a little bit of hopium that we could be flattening out here, but this does not look good. It never has, and ever since the top, we've been looking at this, right? So we can see that we are clearly getting, everybody's drawing a McDonald's pattern and, probably driving up the sales of McDonald's lately. But, right now we look at this, we're in a downtrend. We try to take advantage of the trend. The trend is your friend until the end. Order blocks, all that good stuff. I mean, it's been pretty simple trading this thing. You wait for the little retest, you short it. You wait for the swing into key levels, you long it, and vice versa. And we've been making money up, down, all around, even in Funky Town, Canada. Okay, so it's been a good time. We've been calling every drop in my community, which has been amazing. Even called this drop here. So you can see the red lines are where I'm thinking the drops were going to hit. And I've said this in my live stream multiple times. I'm like, red dot drop, bang, bang. So we were able to take this long. I got receipts if you want to see them. And I was sleeping during this one. So I'm going to short the heck out of this thing when it comes back up to 56,750. And that's where I'm at. Up and down all around, trading this thing, making money, and having a good time while doing it, hanging out here with Army Piper in the morning.
You're muted.
Muted.
Who's muted now?
Yeah, talking all that smack. Talking all that smack.
He's human.
I am human. I'm not perfect. I've never claimed to be perfect. I will tell you that that you need to follow Alex O Crypto, and Mod Queen Alexander G just dropped his link over there in the chat. So if you guys don't follow him, you need to do that because he was a last minute add-in today, so that we could have the Five Guys Fri-Yay show because I did all this work. I needed 5 guys here, or 5 people, I should say, but because Amy lives crypto. If she was around, she could have dropped in. She's one of the guys. But yeah, guys, let's go around and look at our favorite altcoins. And I want to see what you guys are watching on alts because they have been decimated with this pullback on Bitcoin. And so who wants to go first? I'll let you guys pick. Who's got one ready to go?
I got Solana up.
There you go. Soul Train. Here we go. TradeFly, bringing in the Soul Train. What you got for us, bro?
I did it just because of the song. All right. So looking at Solana on the daily here, we're at a nice area. All right. So looking at where we found previous support and just going back on the chart, I've had this green line here for quite some time. Now, we haven't really gone all the way down to it, but it's always a little bit of a range, right? But you see the wick here. See the wick here? That right there is buying pressure. Okay. That means there's willing buyers in this area. And that's why you're getting these wicks. So that's a nice little area. Even the smart target was pretty darn close. And remember, when we see these smart targets with the Market Dynamics Pro, then I always like to find areas of support, and I want to find some confluence to line up with that. They're not always going to hit them perfectly, but man, do they give you a pretty close area a lot of times. But just find that area of support. So that key area that I'm looking at, obviously this first wick here, we'll look at that one. That's at 122. Where did I have my line at? 118. So that's probably the range that I'm looking at. Why did I come up with that? Well, if you come back left on the chart, you're like, okay, where did you see resistance? Where was there a range? See the top side of that here? You see that rejection? And then ultimately it came up, got a retest, never a close underneath of it, only a wick. And then it took off, came back down, test, and here we are. So that's a key area for me to keep an eye on. If we come back down, I will be interested in that area. And matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it up a little bit, right? Because I see where these wicks are bouncing off of it, and it may not come back at this point, but we'll see. I am now going to create an alert there. So simple enough. Oh, well, it looks like I got an alert on something else. Simple enough. What'll happen when it comes back down and to revisit this area is I will get an alert just like you saw on my computer there, and then I can take a look and see on the charts what's actually happening. I'll come to the prime oscillator, I'll check the news, I'll make sure that everything's good to go before I get into a long entry. But what are we looking at right now? Well, you have the dynamic reactor here on the top side of price action. All right, so you can see it's kind of leveled out. You can see it's going back and forth between red and green. That's going to be resistance probably. All right, but you also have these previous ranges here. You got this range that was right here to the left. So that extends out. You can see this green line. Let me go ahead and change that in color for you, make it a little bit easier for you to see. All right, that's a previous point of control, but you also have a value area low, value area high, but we're looking at that value area low right now. Okay, so that's what this gray line is. So if you're curious what this line is right here, it's going to be probably a little bit of resistance before it breaks back in to this area. Okay, so just looking at a previous range here, it's important sometimes to keep these areas up, right? Because let me show you, proof is in the pudding. You got this range right here. Well, we came up and we retested point of control. We got rejected, came down. Then we got underneath the value area low, rejected. Ultimately, it broke down, right? Before it came back down into this range, which was a previous range as well. So, that's kind of how you can tie in. So me personally, when I'm looking at these fixed range volume profiles, there's a lot of people that'll use it time-based. They'll use it for a weekly, a monthly. I actually like to break out the different ranges and use them that way, fixed range volume profile, right? That's kind of how my mind works. And I will say that it's been, relatively successful using it in that way. So numbers for you to look at. All right. Right now you're at the value area low. That's about 131. So that's price action. But I would say if we're going to look at an area for some sort of rejection, depends on how you're playing the game here. If you're intraday scalping, kind of like Alex O, that's right there at about 139. So 139, just underneath that dynamic reactor. If you're doing a short play up and right, I would look for some price action off of that area in the short term. So the other thing that you're looking at here, we've got this symmetrical triangle that's built up, right? You can see that this has really been acting as resistance. We've had 2 retests of this area, and it has yet to be able to get back into that area. So ultimately, what we've had is a breakout to the downside. So keep an eye on that. In terms of what direction we're kind of headed right now, hard to say, right? Because there could be an argument that at some point we actually build up a descending triangle, all right? Because you have these multiple areas of support right here. You get a retest over and over of that area of 121, and then you have this downtrending, we'll say resistance, all right? So this trend line, it could start actually putting pressure to the downside. Just remember that your percentage chance of a breakout to the downside on a descending triangle is a little bit higher to the downside, right? So be aware of that. And we're retesting this area over and over again, the support. I use the analogy sometimes that it's kind of like chopping down a tree. All right, you keep chopping that thing down, eventually it's going to fall. So be cautious in this area, but at the same time, short intraday trades, scalping trades are definitely there for the taking on Sol. I will pass it over because we are running short. Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Let's jump over and check out. Let's check out LBC. You got something for us, LBC?
I'm just running through all these things, and basically all I wanted to say was, a few weeks ago, I hopped in the chat, your chat here, and I told people Solana and memes were gonna die. Okay, and what happened a few weeks later? Solana and memes died. Okay, we had Shiba Inu. It went down 72%, guys. Dogecoin went down 60%. If I go over to WIF USD, it went down. Oh wait, that's not the one that I had on. WIF USDT. Maybe that'll pop up. There we go. Binance. There we go. Down 69. Nice. 0.52%. So WIFs, the meme coins have taken a big hit, and I tried to put out the warning. That because we were, to me, if you go by past cycles, we were at the point where the memes are always the last to go, and they were all kind of going at the same time, and it's kind of just like, all right, we're at the part of the cycle where the memes are probably about to wrap up this part of the cycle, and they're about to just be crushed when Bitcoin goes into a deeper correction, and that's exactly what happened. PayPay down 56% off of its highs. So I mean, just be careful with the memes, guys. We're kind of getting past that part of the cycle, in my opinion. I think we will see a lot of retraces on these memes, and they were going to dump even further, putting in your head and shoulders there. And then, yeah, I mean, this looks like a distribution top to me, and it looks like that on a lot of meme coins. So just be careful with the memes. Flight to quality is your best choice, in my opinion, your best option, in my opinion. But go ahead, have your fun.
All right. Blacky Chan, what you got for us, bro?
I've been looking at Injective. That's just what I'm looking to double down on when we hit local lows on Bitcoin. I've got a retracement pulled from the whole move up. And if you look down here, we've got the 786 down here at 1630. And then we had a heavy bounce range from on the way up at 1420. So that's kind of where I've got my alert set to start doubling down on my injective holdings.
And that's where you that's your buy-in level then. That's like, is that all in or is that your DCA start?
No, that's my all-in. That was around my original buy-in target first time around, so it'd just be a double down for me.
Right. Got it.
I've been staking the whole time.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. So I just, because you got two different ways to buy it in. You can ape in, or you can, dip your toe in and see if it's going lower, right? So I just wanted to clarify for the viewers. All right, Alex, you're going to end the show with your TA. What you got for us, bro?
I got some hopium, baby. Let's go. Bitcoin dominance is ready to get rocked. Okay, so this is your hopium. You go across the board. You look at such things as injective. You're getting hidden bullish divergence. You got some hopium in here. Okay, so hopefully this plays out. We get a rejection on that dominance, that rotation into that altcoin season. And friends, last but not least, my copy and paste for you guys today is Trueflation data. 1.87 reported, 3.3. There's got to be some hopium for cuts. So let's look forward to a beautiful bull run. Don't get too puckered. We'll be all right. And much love to everybody at the Piper Academy.
I appreciate it, guys. That's all we have time for today, but I think we could have hung out here and just talked crypto for hours more. Some people saying they really enjoyed this, but I am grateful that Blackie Chan and Lunar Beaches had the opportunity to come on today because of 4th of July, gave him some freedom. And then Alex O always dropping in ready. He's like ready in the brush. Like, I got it. You need a fifth guy? I'm your guy. That's what he said. So I appreciate you, man. Great show today. And do you guys have anything for people on the way out? We'll go with Lunar Beaches first.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining. I just want to say I was happy to take the bear torch away from TradeFly for an episode. I just wanted to I wanted him to be a little bit less of an enemy to the people. Take that away from him today. But guys, everything's gonna be okay. It's just a correction. We're gonna be fine. Memes are gonna die further, but that's okay. Memes they'll have their day towards the end of the cycle. That's how it goes. But anyways, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate you guys. And thank you guys for having me on, as always. And just look forward to the future with Piper Academy.
Awesome. Blackie Chan, what you got for us, bro?
I was super excited to be here. This has been a great show. I am super glad that I got a 4-day weekend for 4th of July and was able to be here. It was the highlight of my week, honestly. I just hope everyone stays careful out there. We are in a downtrend, but the longer the correction, the healthier the move out of it. So that's a little bit of hopium at the end of the tunnel.
Absolutely. We're in this for the long game, guys. As Piano Batty B says, we're here for the long game. So just keep your eye on the ball and don't get shaken out. Just look at the opportunities. And like I said before, there's ways to garner some extra money. You can take a look at one of your streaming services and go, there's $15 a month or $20 a month right there. I'll shut this off for a few months and I'll binge watch it all in September and free up some liquidity. There's ways, there's means and ways if you guys are in this for the long game. So Alex O, what you got for us, brother?
As Whitney Houston would say, bring me a higher low. And that's for Alex.
That's not Whitney Houston, but that's okay. I think that's Steve Winwood.
Steve Winwood.
Steve Winwood, I believe, is who sings that song. 80s baby here, 70s baby here. So 80s, I was a kid, and that was a jam back in the day. That was fire. So no cap. I'm just going to put that out there. So TradeFly, what you got?
I don't even know how I follow that. But hey, as always, it's great mixing it up with you guys. David, Blackie Chan, Alex O, thank you so much for coming on. It's truly appreciated. Love all you guys. You guys are awesome. Alex O, my twin, my guy. We'll have to do some more work together here soon. But yeah, I hope everyone has a great weekend. Stay strong, and look for opportunities here. I think they're coming. So with that, I'm out.
He said, I'm out. I'm out of here. Out. All right. Well, then let's go over here and where is my
I
solo
love you
cam?
guys.
There it is. Guys, thanks for joining us today on Piper Academy. We appreciate you guys being here. We are going to be back here Monday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time doing the show. I'm going to try to give a follow-up today, and let's find out what's going on with OC down there in the Yucatan Peninsula. So I'll give you guys an update on X and the Discord on that. But yeah, I appreciate everybody who joined us today. You guys are why we do what we do here on Piper Academy. Just remember, we got those levels. We are at key support right now. And if we do have downside movement, we gave you guys those prices, 48,500 on the bottom side for that move. If you guys are going to trade, do it safely. And if you do, please use a stop loss. Catch you guys on Monday morning.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, former Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Tar Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off.
To get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Rip it, Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean?
That was awesome, dude!